Hello, hello. So I was just sitting here and that song, How Bizarre, started playing in my head. I'm not sure if you know it, but you can Google it. Yeah, interesting. So what I'd like to talk about is people watching. Yeah. Not like a stalker or like a psycho or anything, but people watching. Have you ever gone out somewhere and maybe caught yourself looking at someone, a stranger, like, and just thinking to yourself, like mimicking them, kind of like maybe they dropped something, and in your mind, you laughed a little, and you were like, "Oh crap," that stinks. I hate it when that happens. Or we could all relate to noticing someone stub their toe. And you could, for a second, I mean, I have a sense of humor, but for a second, you could probably think, like maybe mimic what they would be thinking, like, okay. So that's kind of on the lines of where I'm going today. I had a little brother, and we used to do this, right? We play this pretend game of I don't know, let's go to Walmart, whatever, anywhere, the mall. Let's go there and we're going to just, like look around and we're going to guess what people are thinking. We're going to guess what they're thinking and we're going to guess what's going to happen next, right? So I don't know. We do it, whatever. So we would do this and then we would say like who's right, who's more accurate than the other person. And the thing is that this became so freaking hilarious that we were so similar mm, tuned, I guess, similarly tuned. And so here's an example, right? We were sitting in front of the store. We're outside the grocery store and, looking around, da da da, and, kind of mocking the guy who couldn't find the parking spot. Sorry, heaven. But, the guy's driving around you, with that look on his face, like, he's easy to mock, you're like, I could read him. Poor thing, right? So, the other person, looking at their watch. But we were sitting there, and there's this older couple, right? Elderly couple. And the man's pushing the cart, the woman's next to him, and they're walking out, they're walking to their car, and he starts, the commentary in the mind, and I start the commentary in her mind. And we're going, and as we're doing it, I said, oh, and then she looks over. Yeah, so we're doing both, and then she looks over and he goes, and then he says, and he reaches out his hand. And they actually did it. Like they would actually do this, right? So we would be like, yes, score. Damn, you got that one. And it was so funny and it was so fun and it was so hilarious until this particular occasion where it was something stupid like then he goes to grab the bag and she goes, "No, wait." And I mock, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, no, wait." And he goes and it drops, it rips open all over. And we're sitting there and then we both had this like moment of, "Are you kidding me?" Like this is a bit too much, too on point. Like we know that we're always right, but it was just some like moment of me. Mm. I think it was a moment where we like specifically read each other's mind while we were doing this. And we knew nothing about the word psychic. This is going back, right? We didn't talk about that. So it would be like, oh, we're on point, right? So this happened and we are like, whoa. And I could feel those feelings running through me right now. And then I went to say, I said, and now I'm walking to the driver's side. I said, because I'm just so confused. And there she goes. She walks. And I said, and he goes, but then I stop you. He goes, because I'm driving. And then the man goes over and he like, touches his wife and guides her. And she said, oh. So I do that too. I go, oh, like that. And she does that. Oh. And she gets in the car. He gets in the car and they go to back up. And so my brother goes, yep. And I thought we're all done with this. I'm like, I don't even know. This is like a mind maze. And then he goes, it, and he goes, no. And then the car stops. And then he goes, up. And he's like, you got it, buddy. Anyway, car backs up. My face is red, right? So my why am I telling you some thing like this, right? Well, we did not know anything about any of this stuff. We were like normal people. I'm not saying it's not normal, but we were normal people, teasing, joking, but it ended up being like the more we honed in on it, the brighter we were. And then come to find out that we're, now that I'm a professional medium, right? Like relaxing, stepping sort of into, I guess it's probably not right to do, but stepping into the other person's shoes. Like, oh, if you were in my shoes, right? If you were in my shoes, I'm like, you want to tell me that? That's a good one. Okay. Well, if you were only in my shoes, well, it's like, you know what? Yeah, no, I was in your shoes actually for a minute. And this is how it is. So, there's so many resources out there for children, for parents of children that are experiencing this now. They're, adults, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the times that I grew up in, like this was like, don't you dare. Like, what are you talking about? And it's such a relief to be in this period of time where even if you go into mental health, you can still sit there and have a conversation. Like, hey, here's the terminology for this. I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm this, I'm that. I'm an empath. I'm something. And so maybe this is more mental health awareness. It's fun. It's funny. It's fun. It's really funny. But maybe we can make some memes out of this. But it's also mental health awareness because I spent my life in and out of mental health treatment, and my brother didn't do so well. So, yeah. I think about him now, and I think about like, could you imagine if he was here and he had Instagram or he had access to this? He would have been telling you all about it. So don't brush these things off. And I'm just learning this now, where I'm like halfway through my life, like to talk, share, be yourself. You know, obviously don't wear a clown outfit to your CEO meeting. I mean, unless you want to. I don't know. Maybe I didn't advise you, but um be yourself. Like everyone is needed. And I didn't know this. I One of my last like counseling appointments, I was there and I said, okay, the woman had said to me, "Oh, I'm leaving. You're not going to be able to confide in me." And I thought, oh man, you're amazing. She's oh, God, I don't know, multiple PhDs, amazing woman to talk to. Help sort my brain, imagination, reality, multiple realities, mm, you know. So she said to me, well, you are experiencing a reality that like very few do. And keep that understanding, use that understanding to share and create healthy conversations. So I didn't really know what I'm going to title this. I'm thinking something like without stigma. I mean, judgment-free zone is like that goes without saying. I'm not here. It's not a fashion show. If you've noticed, I don't think I have any good lighting yet. I mean, I do. Hello, my friend had just said to me, well, let's get you a lighting kit. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do, get you out there. Because I said I want to share, all of this whole package that I put on there because it's just huge. And when you're empowered, even if you know that you're not alone, okay? When you're empowered, you come together, you get to have these conversations. It is so life changing. And I know that sounds cheesy, but It's true. So the lighting, the whatever, I'll get there. But being able to sit at a table where there's a place for you is like undescribable. I sit with scholars, big-hearted people, and it's it's a relief. So yeah, be you. Be you. And I want to hear about you. I want to hear about you. Tell me. I will actually listen. Like I do want to hear. I want your questions. And I've just scratched the surface here. I'm trying to sum up decades of things and something, but I want to give you a little piece of who I am, which I'm a lot. I'm a lot of different things. And I don't know how many names I have, two or so. But yeah, I do. So I also started spiritual life coaching. Just I'm certified, same thing, everything. To sit down and have conversations, to have guidance, to have resources, to like, what do you do when like not everyone can get up and go to that 9 to 5 when you're hearing, what's going on telepathically, when you're an empath, when you're, doing whatever you can do. But some of the strongest empaths, actually, I'm just picking up on this, some of the strongest empaths are the teachers, the nurses, the doctors. I don't call them all out. But firefighters, police, there's a whole slew. It just the list goes on and on. It's just that we don't call it that. We don't call it that. So that's interesting. I don't know. I love it. I'm like obsessed with supernatural. So this supernatural living. So miracle healing, you name it. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Take a walk in these shoes. Maybe I will. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening, and let me know. I know that this is a joke, like, or we joke around with that, with like, commenting on like what is that person saying and being able to relate to someone, but I don't know. To what extent have you experienced that? And share with me. So take care till next time.